Welcome back to Trey Minutes, where I talk about sports in 3 minutes. The Oklahoma City Thunder win the NBA Finals, and that is to nobody's surprise. But to everybody's surprise, the Pacers didn't win just one. They didn't win just two, but they won 3 games. Congratulations to Oklahoma City Thunder, and best of luck to Tyrese Haliburton in his recovery. More news in basketball. Kevin Durant is going to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and this year's 10th round pick, along with a bunch of second-round picks that'll probably be nothing. For the Rockets, let's just book our flights to Cancun already. You're not going to make it out of the first round once again. Kevin Durant's not going to make a difference. The Rockets do have a talented cast of players. However, just on paper, they're the worst cast of players that Kevin Durant has ever played with. So if he hasn't been able to do anything with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, so on and so forth, what makes you think he could do anything with Alperen Sengun and Fred VanVleet? This is going to be another first-round exit for the Rockets, and I think it's going to be a first-round exit and maybe even a playoff miss for as long as Kevin Durant decides to play in his career. Now, for the Suns, it's going to be a very difficult situation over there because now you have Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Obviously, Booker was getting reps at the point guard position, but Bradley Beal with the no-trade clause, and now Jalen Green at that shooting guard position. We'll see what they do, but I don't really think anybody wins this trade necessarily. Maybe the Suns get a little bit of an edge, just more, young talent, that 10th pick. Maybe they do a good job with that. Pretty irrelevant trade in my eyes. Shohei Ohtani has had 2 starts since the last episode of Trey Minutes, and he has looked good in both of them. He has been throwing 100 miles per hour. He has that breaking stuff that looks like it seems to be working. Granted, he's only pitched one inning each game. That's just because it's his rehab start, so it's nothing to really worry about. I like the Dodgers' approach, having these opener games until Shohei Ohtani feels comfortable pitching again. Makes sense to me, and he's done a great job. Especially in his last start, where he hit a home run and a bases-clearing triple, which led up to 5 RBIs and a Dodgers win. Shohei Ohtani, if he could keep this up, it's looking like another MVP season. What I want to talk about today is a follow-up on my UFC picks from last week. I was exactly right about Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill. Even though there was no knockout, Khalil Roundtree just beat up Jamal Hill for 5 rounds. It's not looking good for Jamal Hill and his future in the UFC. It looks like he's just going to get the bad matchups in the light heavyweight division. He got up-and-comers like Zhang Mingyang and Carlos Ulberg. I don't think he wins either of those fights. Despite this, I was completely wrong about Bahamondes and Fiziev. Fiziev beat Bahamondes on the ground, and he won a lot of the standing exchanges. My only problem with this fight is I don't think it was 30-27. They said Fiziev won every single round. I didn't see that. I thought it was much closer. I was expecting a split decision win for Fiziev after watching the fight, but the judges gave every round to Fiziev, and fair enough, he won that fight. For this weekend, we have International Fight Week, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, and Alexandre Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. I don't think Kai Kara-France is good enough to beat Alexander Pantoja. Pantoja's just been beating everybody. I think that's going to be a unanimous decision victory for Alexandre Pantoja, the champion. And Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira are fighting for the lightweight belt. And as much as I love Charles Oliveira and I loved his run at lightweight, it's going to be brutal. Ilia Topuria is going to knock him out. And those are my predictions. And this has been Trey Minutes.